This is Optimal Finance Daily. 5 Big Reasons to Retire Often, Part 2, by Jillian Johnsrud of JillianJohnsrud.com. And I'm your host and personal finance enthusiast, Diana Merriam. Thanks so much for joining today. Now, if you haven't done so already, be sure to listen to yesterday's episode first. But if you're all caught up, then let's get right back into it and hear Part 2 as we continue optimizing your life. 5 Big Reasons to Retire Often, Part 2, by Jillian Johnsrud of JillianJohnsrud.com. Number 4, improve your health. This year, I decided to take a hiatus from my business, which for me meant working about 5 hours a week instead of my normal 15. I had 2 big goals for the year with my extra time and attention. First, finish up as many house renovation projects as possible. And I took that permission and went down a deep rabbit hole of landscape design and permaculture. Over the summer, I could have been mistaken for a landscaper. My other big goal was my health. The pandemic knocked me off course. It was especially hard on my mental health, but it also affected my fitness, nutrition, and stress management. Instead of thoughtful and intentional, all things health-related felt disorganized and reactionary. I had made small attempts to get things back on track with little success. So this was my year to clear the decks and focus on my health. First up was getting out of my very cloudy area of Montana for the winter. We came up with a plan to try to be snowbirds. Then I found a group of health and fitness friends to share the journey with. I paid for a health tracking app. I hired a personal trainer and nutritionist. I read 100+ articles about nutrition and mental health. My psychiatrist recommended I try a low inflammation diet. So I reduced my high inflammation foods and activities and added in a bunch of low inflammation foods and activities. A funny thing happens when you give yourself time, energy, and resources towards just a few goals, and you get all the support and help you need. You make progress. Obviously, I think we should all try for our best health while working our jobs, but it's legit hard. And sometimes we just don't have the bandwidth to take on big changes in our lives on top of everything else. Many of my coaching clients want to focus on improving their health while on their mini retirement. They want to get 8 hours of sleep. They want to reduce their stress hormones and start meditating or doing breath work. Spending time outdoors and with people they care about is part of their mental health. Some want a specific fitness routine, and some just want more movement than they had at a desk job. Taking a walk after breakfast or gardening. For most people, when they have more time and fewer demands on them, it's easier to cook the food you want to be eating and feel more thoughtful with nutrition. Mini retirements can also be essential for helping relieve burnout. It's so hard to recover from burnout while in the situation that created burnout. It takes time, rest, and space. It takes new healthy routines with lots of active rest activities. I've worked with clients who are trying to recover from burnout while still at the job that burned them out. And you can make a little bit of progress with better boundaries, more self-care, and taking other commitments off your plate. But honestly, it might take 2 to 3 years of being very intentional to make the progress you can make in 3 to 4 months of a mini retirement. Focusing on your health is great to squeeze in where you can. But if you want to make a big change or lots of changes, it's helpful to have some extra time and mental space to tackle that. This year gave me the opportunity to start testing ideas of how to optimize my mental health as much as possible. There's a very good chance that my bipolar will be degenerative as I age. So I'm trying everything I can to keep my mental health in peak condition to hopefully delay or prevent that decline. It took some trial and error, but I think I found a set of habits that will support my overall health and mental health to the best of my ability and set me on the best trajectory possible to be just as strong and healthy at 50 as I am today. And number 5, new professional growth. I want to share 2 coaching clients who are in this boat. One, let's call Rachel, has been in her professional field for a while. She's good at her job, well compensated, and she likes it all right. But there's that curiosity of, is this what I want to do for the next 20 years? But every time a job ended, she rushed to make sure the next one was lined up. Part of her mini retirement is taking the time to explore what else might be out there. Is there something that also fits her skill set, education, and interest? Is there something better? Maybe it's a big change, or maybe it's a small pivot. But this time, she's taking 6 months to really explore that. Of course, a mini retirement can serve a few functions. There were some trips with family and friends. There were some decluttering projects. But there was also rest and recovery from a little bit of burnout that had snuffed out some of her creativity. Now it's time to research and explore what her next professional chapter should look like. I have another client who we'll call Tom. Tom never really felt like the 9-to-5 corporate world was the best fit for him. He always wondered if maybe he could do something different, create something on his own. So he created a bit of financial runway to be able to take off 6 to 12 months, and he's going to try to scale up his own business. Not only does he want the chance to succeed, but he doesn't want the regret of never really trying and always wondering if he could have done something different. What if there's something else out there for you professionally? It can be tricky to really explore and pursue those things when life and work are already so full. Even having the creativity and mental space to really think about it is tough when you're a bit burned out. A mini retirement can give yourself 3 to 12 months to rest, explore, and start to test and scale something new. Why retire often? When I talk about retiring often, people are generally confused by the idea. Why would you retire more than once? Why not just push through for 40 straight years and then take the next 30 off? There are 100 benefits to retiring often. And honestly, the nonstop career path has some fatal flaws. But the biggest reason to retire often, it will make your life better. It gives you a fighting chance to improve every area of life that matters to you, spanning across every decade. Your whole life, in its width and its depth, can improve. Plus, it's just more fun this way. You just listened to part 2 of the post titled 5 Big Reasons to Retire Often by Jillian Johnsrud of JillianJohnsrud.com. And I'll be right back with my commentary. I really enjoyed this article, and I think Jillian makes a compelling argument for taking a mini retirement or sabbatical. I will add a word of caution here, though. I think it's important to impose some structure and goals during this time. I've learned from experience that it is possible to have too much time on your hands. And if you aren't careful, it can be easy to waste time in a way that isn't restful or restorative, and that's harmful to your mental health. It takes a lot of intrinsic motivation to be productive when you have fewer external demands. What I'm trying to say is that if you're a procrastinator like me, more time can sometimes be a bad thing. And if you're not careful, it could be a wasted opportunity. The absence of deadlines and goals can result in a lack of motivation, making it difficult to accomplish even simple tasks. Over time, this can lead to a backlog of responsibilities, creating additional stress. So figure out a daily routine that is perhaps less demanding than you've had in the past, but still provides some structure and accomplishment. Just because you aren't working in the traditional sense doesn't necessarily mean that you're resting or experiencing the benefits of a mini retirement. But that's going to do it for today. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening every day. And I'll see you tomorrow for more Optimal Finance Daily, where your optimal life awaits.